Thanks for joining us with the Ideal Minute today. I'm your host, Clay Abernathy. Today we are going to see Barker Contracting. They are a large commercial contractor in town. They've been supporting our school. They've been phenomenal, and we really appreciate everything they do. And I talked to Alice, and she said that they are actually just opened an office in North Carolina. They are kicking butt, and I love to see that. And they have a fantastic location where we're going to go start to see what it is that they're building. We're going to see the groundwork prior to the foundation being put in. And you know how you drive by those places and you just don't know what's going on. Well, we now know what's going on. They're building a little bit of a strip mall, I believe. Some restaurants. We got this gigantic drive truck in our way, so we can't see the coolest building in town. Let's see if I can get in front of them. Can you see it? Oh, there it is. Coolest building in town. Boom shakalaka. More than you can imagine. So we're right here, and we are driving up, and here they are, right on this corner across from Ideal. So if you wonder what's going on, right there, a couple more restaurants. One I think is going to be a Shell. So if you're looking at putting a restaurant in, get a hold of this one. This is a phenomenal location. I think he said that. I think they said maybe a Starbucks or some kind of coffee shop, maybe a pizza joint. Man, maybe it's a mod pizza. That'd be pretty fantastic right across from the school. I would definitely be happy to have some pizza after school. So that's pretty exciting right here next to Chipotle. Cool. Let's go see what they have to say. Very excited about this. Hey, Alice, good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, thanks for letting me out. Hey, John, thanks.
Superintendent on site.
Appreciate you guys taking the time to show us what's going on here.
Glad to have you. Let's go take a look at something.
Awesome. So right now, what part of construction are you currently in? We've got...
Right now we're doing the first things first. Deepest part of the job is the utilities. So we start with the waste, the waste sewer lines first, and then go up from there.
Okay. And is that what is going on now, waste?
So currently right now we've already backfilled our primary sewer line, and we're doing some density testing on the dirt, basically.
Great. So soil samples to make sure that. So how often do you do soil samples? Do you do it before you?
So we'll do what's called a proctor ahead of time. Basically come out and take a sample, analyze it in the lab. So we're going to do the density testing this morning on the plumbing trenches or the sewer line trenches. We'll dig down. We do one every foot. We're about 12 feet deep, plus or minus a foot. That's pretty much where we're at today.
So question on that. So when they go to do the density test on there, how far down do they dig? Do they continue to dig till they find the soil that they want, or do they just do 1 foot at a time?
So they'll dig down probably about 3 feet, maybe 4, and they'll check the density there, and then they'll just lift themselves up about a foot just to check until we get to the top. So, we'll test the soil that's in place.
Now, you use a third-party company for that? Is it an engineer that comes out?
It's a specific subcontractor that we employ that does that type of work.
It's awesome. So now after they, as they're doing that, what is it they're looking for? They're looking for compact, or how much fill you have to bring in to put on?
Well, this site didn't require any fill for us, but we're checking for moisture, and then the proper compaction. I believe we're trying to get 95% in the subgrade.
Does that mean that you have to use different concrete on the way?
No.
Or just you got to compact it more before you put it over?
We just have to compact it to the optimal amount of moisture, so it just gives it stability for us to build on top of. And that's all engineered.
Right, and that's pretty important to make sure that your buildings don't fall down.
Extremely important.
Yes. So the holes that are currently here, this is for new utilities going in, or is this for soil samples?
So the current holes that we have now are for the future manholes that need to be installed. So once you lay the pipe, then we'll be doing the manholes next. So there's one that goes in right here. There's also one that goes in over here.
Awesome.
You'll see that throughout the process.
So what buildings are you guys building here?
So we're doing a couple of retail shops, one here on the corner, and then one adjacent to it here, a little bit to the west.
For customers or clients that hire Barker Contracting, do they build normally for suite? Do they hire you out for shells, or you guys can do whatever?
We do whatever we can contract. So we'll build schools, we'll build retail, we'll do medical. It's all on the table.
That's awesome. So they'll dig the manholes, they'll put the manholes down, cover it, and then the pipe's already ran to it?
So the pipe's already connected, it's in the ground, it's a branch line right here. You can see the riser here, that's where we're gonna tie in our building. So we're gonna do a density test right here in that trench area.
And that's to make sure that you backfilled it right, or?
To make sure we have proper compaction.
Proper compaction.
Everything here gets pavement, just wanna make sure we have stable soil.
Right, last thing you want to do is have a big old concave in that. Yep,
That's right.
That's awesome. Now, how often do you have to do that after you backfill?
Well, it's going to be up to the testing company. I believe they do require a couple of tests per trench, but typically they test it at every foot. So right now he's got several holes. Looks like he's 1 foot deep here. He's about 2 feet deep here. Looks like he's going 3 feet over there. So that should be more than enough.
Now, how deep do they require your utilities to be at these kinds of sites?
Well, it's engineered. This site in particular is about 13 feet deep.
13 feet.
At its maximum point.
Right, and that seems awfully deep. Is it normally that deep, or
Well,
is it just because of here?
Based on design.
Okay. You keep them out of the way.
Right.
Awesome.
I mean, you need a minimum amount of elevation change out of the building in order to make the plumbing work. And here we have a possible restaurant, so we have a grease interceptor to work with. So we'll need to make sure we have enough elevation to get the grease trap in.
And so each thing, so like if you build a hospital or you build a restaurant, each one's going to have different kinds of engineering for sewage and waste, right? Because you got to.
Sewage and waste is pretty much the same no matter what, but you're working with existing conditions when you're tying into the main sewer line. So what we have right now is we have our primary 8-inch line that ties into the city sewer. And then our branch line's coming in off the future pads. Basically, it's coming in off of this direction and 2 coming in from the west.
Now, once this is all done, manhole gets put in again, covered. At what point in time do they build up the pad, or you got more utilities to bring in?
So the pad's already pretty much to subgrade or to elevation. Once that's, we'll just backfill everything, and then we'll prepare for the next bit of utility work, which is going to be the storm sewer. So we have that on the site, and then after that, we'll have the water lines put in and the electrical secondaries.
Okay, so we're just finishing up the sewer, and then the rest of the electricity utilities are coming in after that.
Correct. Yeah. So you work from your deepest point up.
And now you said that. Based upon where the sewer connection is how deep you're going to be here. Where do you connect here?
So right now we already had a branch line coming in off of that road. So we had an existing pipe to connect to. That was predated our design. So we inherited that elevation. So we have to bring that forward and through all the way to our buildings.
So now if that's not as deep as it should be, to get it further, normally you'll upsize the width of the pipe that's going out, or?
Well, it would have to go back to the engineer if that was the case. It's all about everything rolling downhill.
Right.
Common sense.
That's what we teach everybody at school.
I mean, if you do come into a situation, you can put in a lift station. It's expensive and it requires maintenance. So you're better off having elevation in your favor.
Awesome. So how long have you been in construction?
I've been in the industry about 30 years as in the construction total, about 20 years as superintendent as commercial.
That's amazing. We got lots of great things going on in the construction world right now, and some challenges that we're facing. What's something that you are, as a superintendent, trying to make sure happens so your jobs run really smoothly?
Well, our primary concern is safety, making sure everybody goes home at the end of the day. Especially right now with the heat, making sure that the guys are drinking enough water, keeping an eye on them, taking them to the office if they get a little bit woozy or whatever. That's pretty much our main focus, and then we have our day-to-day operations that we have to manage.
Thank you again so much for meeting with us, Alice.
Coming out. It was great.
Yes, John, it was great meeting you. And thanks for joining us today with the Ideal Minute with Barker Contracting for more than you can imagine.